This is Tom Dillon, the Lifetime Liberal, and today is Thursday, February 18th, 2021. The title of this rant is The Unstate of Texas. Terminal uniqueness breeds deadly incompetence. So it's absolutely horrific what's going down in Texas right now. Hopefully there will be a price to pay for those who have inflicted this on. We saw the governor go on Fox News and try and blame the wind turbines for all the problems. See the Republicans continuing to do that. But it was quickly pointed out by some very nice people in North Dakota, Canada, Wisconsin, upstate New York, Norway. Hey, we got we have wind turbines too. It's much colder up here than it is down there, and ours are working fine. So let's get into the fact that right now Texas has had 26 straight years of Republican as a governor. And I think Ann Richards was only in for 4 years and was a Republican before that. And they've had the state legislature for quite some time also. It is trending purple. Maybe it'll become blue. We've been waiting for this for 10 years, but it hasn't really happened. But basically, with the Republicans in power in the state, they've exonerated this terminal uniqueness about how great Texas is. Of course, that's been going on for 100 years. But at the meantime, in these last 26 years, what have they really been doing? They've been specializing in screwing the average person over and monetizing corporations so that they can use that excess money to pay the PACs of these Republicans so that they can get reelected again and decrease regulations even more. All right. And unfortunately, even though, yes, Texas is a tremendously great state, the great state of Texas, they do have a lot of troubles. They have the highest rate of uninsured, meaning medically uninsured, in the country. They have double the national average of child poverty in the state of Texas. They have a higher unemployment rate right now than the national average. And of course, they have lax environmental regulations because every now and then you hear about a chemical plant blowing up, and it usually is always in Texas. And of course, they've always, this has been for 200 years or so, we're this iconoclastic state. We don't need the F word federal government coming in and telling us what to do, right? But it didn't take long for that governor and Ted Cruz and who's the other guy, Cornyn, they were begging for the federal money to come in and help them this time out. They were begging them. And of course, Cruz and Cornyn, I believe that they voted against hurricane relief for Hurricane Sandy because those were Democratic states, and of course the great state of Texas. And Texas has had a lot of problems environmentally too, weather-wise too. With hurricanes, there's a lot of problems with rain in Houston, and this isn't the first time that they've had storms like this in Texas. So this is the thing that's coming out about this, or I see coming out about this. This is giving the voters of Texas a very, very clear choice. Because there's going to be death here. There's going to be a lot of people that are hurting. It's going to take a long time. There's a lot of food insecurity right now. Obviously, people are some getting close to freezing to death. But this is what the Republicans have been doing in this state to get elected all along. And is that going to work for them? The Republicans, my opponent, is a communist. He's a fascist. He's an atheist. And of course, the most dreaded ist of all, he's a socialist. And he's George Soros's love child. Anything to own the libs. But when the Democrats are coming on, we want to keep the lights on. We want to keep the heat there. We want the railroads to run right, the buses to run right, the stoplights to run right. We want the roads clear. We want to invest in education. We want to invest in mental services. We want to bring everything up for everyone here in the state. And unless things change dramatically in Texas, because right now it's going to be inevitable that the poverty rate's going to increase because people won't be able to do a lot of things there. And there are companies that are not going to be able to make it because of this mess that the Republicans have put the state of Texas in. And there are companies right now that are deciding, do we want to stay here anymore? Maybe we should just get the hell out of here and go somewhere else where we know this won't happen again. And there might be companies who are going to say, we were thinking of moving to Texas. I don't know if that's such a great idea right now. And what it's really coming down to, and this is the real thing, do you really want to vote for the incompetence? Because this has been 10, 20 years in the making by the Republicans in this state with their terminal uniqueness, which is now causing incredible havoc, destruction, and death in the state of Texas. Do you want to have this terminal uniqueness that is breeding death? Or do you want to invest in the Democrats and democracy? And let's just use the word competence. The choice could not be any clearer.